A Muslim, sometimes spelled Muslim, relates to a person who follows the religion of Islam, a monotheistic and Abrahamic religion, based on the Quran. Muslims consider the Quran to be the verbatim word of God as revealed to the Islamic prophet Muhammad. They also follow the teachings and practices of Muhammad as recorded in traditional accounts called hadith. Muslim is an Arabic word meaning one who submits. A female Muslim is sometimes called a Muslima. There are customs holding that a man and woman or teenager and adolescent above the age of 15 of a lunar or solar calendar who possesses the faculties of rationality, logic or sanity, but misses numerous successive Jumu'ahs without a valid excuse, no longer qualifies as a Muslim. Most Muslims will accept anyone who has publicly pronounced the declaration of faith as a Muslim. The Shahada states, "There is no God but the God and Muhammad is the last messenger of the God." Islamic beliefs commonly held by Muslims include that God is eternal, transcendent and absolutely one, that God is incomparable, self-sustaining and neither begets nor was begotten, that Islam is the complete and universal version of a primordial faith that has been revealed before through many prophets including Abraham, Moses, Ismail and Jesus, that these previous messages and revelations have been partially changed or corrupted over time and that the Quran is the final, unaltered revelation from God. The religious practices of Muslims are enumerated in the 5 pillars of Islam, which, in addition to Shahada, consist of daily prayers, fasting during the Islamic month of Ramadan, almsgiving, and the pilgrimage to Mecca at least once in a lifetime. Lexicology. The word Muslim is the participle of the same verb of which Islam is the infinitive based on the triliteral slm to be whole, intact. It is a liturgical phonology that is formed from 2 components, the pronoun prefix, mu, and the triconsonantal root, slim. A female adherent is a Muslima. The plural form in Arabic is Musliman or Muslimin, and its feminine equivalent is Muslimate. The Arabic form Musliman is the stem IV participle of the triliteral slm. A female Muslim can variously be called in their etymologically Arabic form of Muslima, also spelled Muslim as Muslimit, Muslimes or simple the standard term of Muslim. General alternative epithets or designations given to Muslims include mosque-goer, masjid-goer, or archaic, dated and obsolete terms such as Muslimite or Muslimist. The ordinary word in English is Muslim. It is sometimes transliterated as Muslim, which is an older spelling. The word Musulman is a common equivalent for Muslim used in Central Asia. Until at least the mid-1960s, many English-language writers used the term Mohammedans or Mahometans, although such terms were not necessarily intended to be pejorative. Muslims argue that the terms are offensive because they allegedly imply that Muslims worship Muhammad rather than God, meaning, in defining Muslim, the Sufi spiritual leader Ibn Arabi said, "A Muslim is a person who has dedicated his worship exclusively to God." Islam means making one's religion and faith gods alone. Used to describe earlier prophets in the Quran. The Quran describes many prophets and messengers as well as their respective followers as Muslim. Adam, Noah, Abraham, Jacob, Moses and Jesus and his apostles are all considered to be Muslims in the Quran. The Quran states that these men were Muslims because they submitted to God, preached his message and upheld his values, which included praying, charity, fasting and pilgrimage. Thus, in Surah 352 of the Quran, Jesus' disciples tell Jesus, "We believe in God, and you be our witness that we are Muslims." In Muslim belief, before the Quran, God had given the Torah to Moses, the Psalms to David and the Gospel to Jesus, who are all considered important Muslim prophets. Demographics. About 13% of Muslims live in Indonesia, the largest Muslim country, 25% in South Asia, 20% in the Middle East and North Africa, 2% in Central Asia, 4% in the remaining Southeast Asian countries, and 15% in Sub-Saharan Africa. Sizable communities are also found in China and Russia, and parts of the Caribbean. The country with the highest proportion of self-described Muslims as a proportion of its total population is Morocco. Converts and immigrant communities are found in almost every part of the world. The majority of Muslims are Sunni, being over 75 to 90% of all Muslims. The second and third largest sects, Shia and Ahmadiyya, make up 10 to 20% and 1% respectively. The most populous Muslim-majority country is Indonesia, home to 12.7% of the world's Muslims, followed by Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Egypt. Sizable minorities are also found in India, China, Russia, Ethiopia, the Americas, Australia and parts of Europe. With about 1.6 billion followers, almost a quarter of Earth's population, Islam is the second largest and one of the fastest growing religions in the world.